Hi guys, so today I am making some sandwich bread and I don't know what else I'm doing in this video. I guess I just have to take you along with me. Here I have 2/3 cup of water and half a cup of milk. I'm just trying to get everything just slightly warm and I will add the rest to it. So I got my milk a little too hot. I usually try to be at 110 temperature wise, and anything that's hotter than that I try to make sure I cool my milk a little bit because I don't want to kill the yeast. So I figured while it was warm, I added 2 tablespoons of butter and also 2 tablespoons of honey. So then it can melt in it. And I think in about 5 minutes, I'll check the temperature again for the milk and see if it's at about 100. So while my milk is cooling down a bit, I have 2 cups of flour in here with 1 teaspoon of salt. You know, I'm going to use my garlic salt in this, and also I'm using some bread flour. That's the flour I always use when I make bread. The recipe usually says 2.5 cups of flour, but I know that when I make bread I usually hold back about half a cup or 1/4 cup, depending, because sometimes it doesn't need. I think it has something to do with like the humidity and the temperature and all that, so I just want to make sure I hold back a little bit. I really don't want my bread to be tough. You can always add more, but you cannot take back. So I just added my yeast. I added 1.5 tablespoons of yeast. I buy it in the big jar, the big glass jar, and I just always keep it in my fridge. So now I'm going to put a little timer on, about 15-20 minutes, and just let that bloom and just, you know, look warm and fuzzy. I don't know. So my dough hook is on, and now I just have to turn it on. The dough was a bit wet, so I did add my half a cup of flour to this. And now I just have to put a timer on and let it knead for about 10 minutes. Or you can just knead it with your hand, but the KitchenAid did that for me. So much easier. Guys, look at my dough, it's so pretty. So now I'm going to give it a little punch and roll it and then put it in my mold and let that rise for about 30 minutes. So I just rolled my dough and put it in there. I did butter my dish. Actually, I need to get a nice bread loaf. This is just a regular loaf pan, and it's really wide and kind of something a little more like narrow and taller, so my loaf can get nice and tall and like a nice sandwich bread. But I mean, so far this is good and the bread tastes amazing. I am going to cover this again and just let it rise for another 30 minutes to 45 minutes. So my loaf is ready to go in the oven, and the oven has been preheating at 400 degrees, so it's supposed to go in there and cook for about 30 minutes. So here is the bread. It looks so beautiful. I'm going to let it cool just a little bit and then put it on my wire rack to completely cool off. Okay, just one last look. So beautiful. Look how nice this is. I'm going to have this with some butter. They're pretty.